Hey everybody, Happy New Year. Did you ever think about starting your new year out with a bunch of do-nots when it comes to meeting with customers? Stick around because we're going to flesh that out. Our book about improving customer experiences is now in audiobook format on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Hello, everybody. Jeff Mason, your host of SimpleBiz360 podcast. SimpleBiz360.com is our World Wide Web home, and you can watch this on YouTube, IGTV, Gab TV, and 28 audio platforms, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeart, Pandora, you know the rest. So we are excited you're here today. We'd love your subscription or a great review, 5-star review if you feel we're worthy. And today we're going to be talking about starting the new year, right? Happy New Year. You know, start the new year with some do-nots. Have you ever thought about that? Just to take a look at what we shouldn't be doing. Maybe that'll make our year better. And if you're looking at the canvas, you're on the YouTube experience, you're looking at this canvas on the back wall, that is the happy customer tunnel. Right? That is the destination for all of us. We're all trying to go into that tunnel where we can create a happy customer and they can help us get more referrals and repeat business if they're happy, right? So that's really it. So how do we make them happy? Sometimes it's through what we don't do. So let's take a look at it when we're having conversations with people, right? There's this societal drag bag we could bring in with us, and we tend to want to, use some of these things in our business settings that we use in our personal settings, like being that chronic interrupter, right? Or being that corrector, or you're that type of person that likes somebody says, oh, I did this. Oh, yeah, I did one better. You're that one-upper, or maybe, they're talking, you just decide to overtalk, right? And they're just like, wow, I haven't even finished, right? So we're the overtalker. Well, let's dump those four things. No more corrector, interrupter, one-upper, or overtalker. What about arrogance and bragging? Nobody likes a braggadocious person. They don't want to see somebody arrogant. Why don't you replace that arrogance with confidence? And why don't we just tuck that braggadocious, suitcase and, put it in the attic? Let's not even get braggadocious. Right? What about embellishments? Sometimes your story's just good enough the way it is. You don't have to lie about it. You don't have to puff it up. You don't have to make it sound like something it's not. So take embellishments and just, leave them, on the street corner. Leave them on the curbside. You don't need them anymore, right? What about acting superior over customers or speaking in condescending tones? People don't want to feel like you're coming off better than they are, and they certainly don't want to be spoken to in a way that makes them feel low and unimportant. So just, try doing business this year without those two things. And what about we overuse sometimes slang words and abbreviations and industry terms that sometimes customers are like, what's he talking about? What does that mean? Let's stop using them and start articulating a little better to make the customers feel like they're understanding what we're saying a little bit better, right? What about empty claims that we can't support? Let's not do that this year. Let's only tell the truth and things that we can support with evidence, right? Evidence defeats disbelief is what we always say here. What about that social space? In the United States, we have kind of that 18-inch comfort level. Well, don't get 6 inches from their face and let them know what you had for lunch by breathing on them. And it's intimidating. It's uncomfortable. People don't like it. So just keep, an eye on that space and don't violate that social space. What about taking phone calls or doing text messages when you're in front of customers? No, turn the phone off. Don't do the text messages. What about, imagine your first time in seeing a customer and you start logging on. Hey, what's your password? I want to log in on the computer. Dude, you're here to meet with me in my office to talk about some things. Why are you getting online like that? Leave all that stuff behind. Those emails will wait for you. Don't make a customer feel uncomfortable like that, right? Over-promising capabilities or timelines. It's that over-promise, under-deliver. Nah, leave it, chuck it, put it in the wastebasket. Don't use it this year. Mocking and knocking your competition. No one wants to hear that. They really don't. That's not a healthy way to do business, by taking jabs at your competition. What about if you're in a residential area, you're dealing with people in their houses, bad-mouthing neighbors or other customers who they may know or interact with at church? No, don't do that. What about onions, man? Don't eat onions, especially those raw onions, before you go meet with the customer. You project that onion breath from, 20 feet away. Don't do it. Or the last thing is, maybe they're coming to your office or conference room and you just slam down that, Subway sub before they come in, and you scrape the onions off and you put it in the wrapper and you chuck it in the wastebasket that's in the room that you're in with the meeting. No, those onions are permeating through the whole room. Dump them in the dumpster. Get them out of your office. Don't eat them. Don't even order the sub with the onions. How's that sound? So, guys, it's just a little bit of, what kind of a cool way to start the new year is to take a look at the do not. So we're gonna leave you with a Lost in the Shuffle track by the Beatles, 1969. They're with Billy Preston up on the rooftop outside in the cold, clammy winter months, and they're doing Don't Let Me Down. Enjoy it. We will see you in 168 hours.